Hey, thank you for joining me. This is Indigenous Patriot. I'm going to go over a couple of topics today. The first one is going to be the Dominion software and all the hubbub surrounding that, as well as a few other election related tidbits. I guess we're so tired of this topic, but it's news. The second is going to be the discussion of an indigenous related documentary that I find to be very interesting, and the time frame that it takes place in is highly interesting to me as well. So stay tuned. Let's get started. I'm not really sure how many times we have to keep hearing that this was, no fraud in our election. The Department of Homeland Security themselves came out and stated that this is the most secure election in American history, basically. I say basically because I don't want to be misquoting here, but that's my understanding of it. They stated that they saw no proof of fraud. They saw no proof that votes were changed. They saw no votes that were deleted, etc. They did an audit on the systems, okay? So why are we continuing to push this Dominion software propaganda? If you don't know, the right is currently claiming that there's a software that's called Dominion, or it's by Dominion, whatever, and they're claiming that there have been at least two glitches in two different states, and that 940 some odd thousand votes were deleted or changed, a combination of the two under Donald Trump. I mean, let's ignore the fact that our Department of Homeland Security stated that this kind of stuff wasn't going on. Let's ignore that fact. Let's go to the idea that in the state of Pennsylvania, there's claims that almost 1 million votes were either changed or deleted in Donald Trump's corner here. There's a statement that Dominion put out, and it says, Dominion says the claim that its machines deleted 941,000 Trump votes in Pennsylvania is impossible because Dominion only serves 14 counties in the state, producing a total of 1.3 million votes. That's 52%. Or 676,000 of which went to Trump. So what that's stating is them claiming that 941,000 votes were deleted by this program is preposterous. That would almost completely take out the total that the 14 counties that Dominion services has. And they're actually stating that in these 14 counties, 52% of those votes went to Donald Trump. So when you're actually doing the math, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, it's a leap of faith that goes beyond what our senses tell us. We all learned how to count. Also in election news, the state of Wisconsin stated that it would cost Donald Trump over $7 million in order to have a recount, and he'd have to prepay up front. I don't really know if we're going to run into an issue with that, because I think that he has enough donors that are willing to, pay for that. So I'm assuming that we're going to see the recount in Wisconsin, and it's going to be the same results that it was this time too. You lost. That's just what it is. Okay, I don't recall this type of. Okay, so yes, when Donald Trump won in 2016, it was the refest. Okay, the refest. People cried and pouted and stated it wasn't fair that the popular vote should win out on the electoral. But But the fact of the matter is that it wasn't, weeks later, and we're still trying to drag our country through this as tensions rise during a pandemic and people take to the streets to attack one another. When does politics take a step back and say we are killing our people? I'm kind of curious about that. Like, where's the line in the sand, and why do we keep supporting these people? Why do we keep giving these people our votes and our money and our time? When are we gonna stop doing that? I don't know. Okay, I'm kind of over it. I want to wake up one day and not have to talk about this kind of stuff. So let's move on. At the end of the video, there's going to be a trailer, and it's going to be for Incident at Oglala. That's the movie I want to talk about in this particular episode of Indigenous Patriot. Incident at Oglala is about the events surrounding the death of 2 FBI agents on the Pine Ridge Reservation in 1975, as well as the controversy of just who killed these agents and why were they on Indian land. Okay, you're gonna have interviews with many people that were part of the American Indian movement, and I don't know if you've seen any of my previous videos, so I'm just gonna give a real quick idea of what the American Indian movement was at the time. You could liken them to maybe the Black Panther Party, I suppose. It's hard to directly compare movements, especially when they are of an ethnic type of tint. The American Indian movement is not the things that they did was to bring attention to the plight and to cause the American people to see that we haven't honored the treaties as were put forth in like the Fort Laramie Treaty and whatnot. Okay, so they would go and they took over Alcatraz. They had the siege at Wounded Knee in 1973, where they were there for I guess it was like 70 something days. It was all over the news. Marlon Brando spoke about it. It was a pretty large event. But anyway, there are a group of individuals that are trying to bring back pride in Indigenous people, because at the time that they formed, a lot of our people had lost our ways. So languages were lost, traditions were lost. Integration into colonial society was a big thing for, and still is, for Indigenous people, because it's sometimes it's easier to just go along with the flow instead of standing up and fight. But the American Indian movement wanted to stand up and fight, and they had a lot of strong women that spoke up at the time. And there's a lot of controversy within the group itself, and I'm not getting into any of that. I'm just giving the general overview of what they were, and I keep speaking of it in past tense. The American Indian movement, they're still around and they're still active. It's just I don't have a lot of, I'm not a part of the American Indian movement. I don't really know anybody that is currently, so I don't want to state things about current events with them that I don't know anything about. I don't want to be disrespectful. So anyway, some of the main individuals that were part of the American Indian movement are involved in this incident that happened in Oglala. And what's really interesting about it, and I don't mean interesting in a positive way, I mean it's just something of interest, is that the mystery on who actually killed these 2 FBI agents is pervasive. We have people that have been arrested for it. We have people that are still serving. We have testimony, and we even have a murder of someone that it was claimed was an informant. I don't really want to go too far into that because the documentary kind of speaks on it, but yeah, there's a lot of threads that are interwoven, and I don't know if 100% we will ever truly know what happened in 1975. I'm not really sure that that's going to be a story that we will find some kind of total conclusion on. But what I do know is Leonard Peltier is serving time. He's not doing well health-wise, and maybe it'd be worth giving a watch, seeing how you feel. And if you're somebody that feels as though Leonard Peltier should be free, maybe you could champion that cause. That's going to be your personal journey if that's something that you want to do. In any case, I hope you enjoy the trailer. If you watch the movie, please let me know what you think. If you have any similar suggestions, I'm very interested in them too. It doesn't actually have to be Indigenous related. I have a wide range of interests, but this is Indigenous Heritage Month, so we'll stick with that theme. Again, stay tuned at the end for the trailer. I hope that you enjoyed what I spoke about. I tried to keep this one short. Any suggestions or comments on the YouTube channel, please let me know. Be polite. We're trying to build community here, and I want you to join me on that. I have some other things that we'll talk about on an Indigenous tilt. If you haven't watched the episode of Oh Just Talk that Vonda, Lydia, and I filmed yesterday, then please check it out. It's pretty interesting. We talk about what we're looking forward to with the new administration. So join us on that. In any case, Lepich Kanawe, I will see you again.
Live presents the controversial film event, produced and narrated by Robert Redford.
They were there to make trouble. You've got two FBI agents there to serve a warrant that they don't have on someone who's not there.
Incident at Oglala.
When you hear stories or look at movies about the FBI, you know, they always get their man.
In 1975, two FBI agents were shot and killed at the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. A leader of the American Indian movement, Leonard Peltier, was captured, convicted of murder, and sentenced to life in prison. By focusing on the events surrounding this case, Incident at Oglala uncovers a shocking abuse of American justice.
There were so many rounds, and it's just like we're a bunch of rabbits running up there, and they were just like all shooting at us, you know.
No one could really pinpoint, as far as I could see, exactly who shot the agents.
A champion of Indian rights, Robert Redford has produced this film in the hope of achieving a new trial for Peltier. To date, the movie has ignited stories on 60 Minutes, WCBS-TV, CNN, HBO, Entertainment Tonight, and in the Boston Globe, the Chicago Sun-Times, Esquire, and People magazine.
I have no doubt as to the guilt or innocence of Leonard Peltier. He's guilty as charged and as a jury found.
The Hollywood Reporter calls Incident at Oglala provocative, compelling.
In my judgment, justice has been done.
The Los Angeles Times hails it as an even-handed cry of outrage, coolly passionate.
Where's the justice? What is justice? You know, I don't know what justice is.
Time magazine declares a directorial tour de force.
All I can say is that he's a murderer, and he's doing his time. I didn't kill those agents.
To tell renters all about this film, the trailer will be seen by millions of consumers on live home video product before and after street date. Produced in